Thank you so much for attending our workshop today. And some of you came from so far away, and we really appreciate your coming, especially under this kind of beautiful weather. And my name is Jisoo Park. I'm one of the organizers of this event, and I'm teaching Japanese at East Asian Department at Columbia University. Before we start our event, we would like to take this opportunity to express our gratitude for the support from the Consortium for Language Teaching and Learning, East Asian Language Department, East Asian Languages and Cultures Department, Foreign Language and Area Studies, Language Resource Center, National Research Centers, and Weatherhead East Asian Institute. Without your help and support, we wouldn't have been able to make this event happen. So thank you so much for all the support. And we would like to start this event with the opening remarks from Professor Neluk van Deussen-Scholl from the consortium.
Good morning. I'm Neluk van Deussen-Scholl. I'm Director of the Center for Language Study at Yale University, and I'm also one of the board members of the Consortium for Language Teaching and Learning. Our president, my colleague Elsa Amanatidou from Brown University, sends her regrets. Unfortunately, she could not be here, so I am just taking her place today. Our incoming president will be Stefan Jarritos from Columbia University, who will step in next year as president of the consortium. So I'm delighted to say a few words of welcome and also say a few things about the consortium. As you may know, the consortium currently consists of 6 peer institutions: Columbia, Yale, Cornell, Brown, Chicago, and Princeton. And our mission is to promote language education across our institutions, particularly also the study of less commonly taught languages, however that might be defined. The consortium has been in existence in various configurations for more than 30 years, and it meets annually to exchange ideas and share information across our campuses. Among our regular activities, we sponsor an annual symposium, and I'd like to give you a couple of examples of recent events. Brown has offered a symposium on genre-based pedagogies in 2016. At Yale, we held a symposium on community-based language education in May 2017. And then in addition, and that's most relevant for today's event, we also sponsor an annual workshop competition for language instructors that provides support for organizing a pedagogical event on one of the member campuses, and ideally in collaboration also with other campuses. They're always intended to be free and open to instructors from our member campuses. And the point is to promote conversation and collaboration across our membership. The first of these workshops was held at Brown University in 2013, and that was that one was entitled "Working at the Intersection of Language and Culture in the Digital Age." Then in 2015, Cornell organized a workshop on content-based instruction, and in 2016, Columbia organized a workshop on language learning and teaching in urban and linguistic landscapes with Lee Abraham, who is here today organizing that one. We're very pleased that this year's workshop will be held here today, and we congratulate the organizers on winning the competition for this particular workshop. I will also like to invite you to next year's workshop, which will be held in October, on October 25th and 26th at Yale University, and will be on project-based language teaching and learning, and we'll send you more details in the weeks to come. Finally, I want to end by just encouraging all language instructors to consider submitting a proposal for this workshop competition, as we strongly feel that the most exciting and energizing events are those that are conceptualized by language faculty. The call for proposals is usually issued by around December, with a deadline of February of the spring. And we also hope that everyone will become or remain active members of the consortium, so that we will have an opportunity to get to know each other and collaborate across our campuses. I wish you a very productive and very informative workshop today.
Good morning. My name is Fumiko Nazukian. I am also one of the organizers. And we are very, very grateful to have received so much support from our colleagues. And we wish to thank our department, East Asian Languages and Cultures, for their help, especially with logistics. And then this is a busy time of a semester, and then we could not have prepared everything ourselves. We are very thankful to our colleagues in Iraq, especially to Dr. Nittono, the director of the Japanese language program, for her support of the project. And now we would like, thank you very much. And we now would like to have a few words from the Professor Wei Shang, the acting chair of the Iraq. Thank you very much.
Welcome everybody, and thank you for coming on such a raining day. Each of you should receive an award for joining us here today. So on behalf of the Department of East Asian Languages and Cultures at Columbia University, let me first of all welcome Professor Yasuhiko Tosaku of UCSD, the keynote speaker of today's workshop. The title of his lecture is Working at the Intersection of Language and Culture in the Digital Age, Social Network Approaches to the Pedagogy of Language Teaching, which, as you can see, addresses one of the issues essential to the language teaching and learning experiences in the new environment informed by digital technologies. This lecture, I have no doubt, will give rise to the fruitful discussion on social network approaches in language teaching and the new methods of engaging students in cross-cultural communications on global issues. So the workshop organizer, Jishook and Fumiko, have expressed their gratitude, their appreciation for the financial support of the sponsoring institutions, including the consortium and the Weatherhead Institute of East Asia Studies. Now, since ELACS as the home department for all the language programs is fully supportive of their initiative. Since 2016, we have organized a series of lectures and workshops to facilitate scholarly discussions among our language lectures on a wide range of subjects, from the linguistic to the pedagogical studies. And in addition, we also hold happy hour for language lectures on a regular basis to help cultivate a warm and supportive climate, and also encourage the inter-program communications and exchanges among our language teachers. We, as a department, we have 5 East Asian language programs: Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese. For the first time, we have a full-time Vietnamese language lecturer this year with us. So yes, we are expanding. And also Tibetan language program, right? So our department tried very hard to try to create opportunities for our language teachers from different programs to, come to know each other personally, and also, more importantly, to learn from each other, right? And I attended one happy hour earlier this year, not long ago, and everyone was, as far as I could tell, was visibly happy. And of course, we drank beer. That's probably why. Finally, I want to thank Jishook and Fumiko for their hard work to make this possible, make the workshop possible in the first place. And also, I want to thank them for their imaginative work in putting this workshop together. Okay, so please join me to give them a round of applause. So I wish the workshop a great success and have fun. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. So, why social networking approach? I would like to talk about my own story. I have been teaching Japanese as a foreign language for more than 30 years in the United States. And I really enjoy teaching, but recently I started asking myself, why am I doing this? What is the purpose of what I do every day? I used to think it is for communication, for realistic and meaningful communication. But then I asked myself, well, what is realistic and meaningful communication? Then one semester, I had a very interesting group of students in my 4th year Japanese class. It was just like a United Nations meeting. A diplomat from Turkey, an American diplomat, a graduate student from Jordan, a student from mainland China, a student from Taiwan, a student from Korea, an American student whose mother is Japanese, and I myself happen to have Armenian name. Now, every week we had a dialogue class where each student chose a topic of interest and prepared materials for discussion. Interestingly, they often chose sensitive topics, often political or social issues. And I was very amazed to see how they discuss such topics. It was eye-opening to me to see them seeking solutions together by expressing their ideas, opinions in Japanese, and trying to understand each other respectfully. I think social networking approach will give us some answer to the question of what is the purpose of a foreign language teaching. And so the Professor Tosaki is going to speak, right?
I'd like to share a little bit of my story. When I was in college, I decided to become a language instructor because I learned language is powerful. Language can cause pain, but language can also heal and deepen relationship. And I thought when I become language instructors, we can remind each other and the students that we use language not to inflict pain, but towards each other, but to make our society a better place together. I started teaching here at Columbia in 2002 with that passion and guiding principle. But after a while, I started struggling. I was struggling because I started questioning about the meaning of teaching language, especially when a lot of students stop learning it after 2 years or maybe 3 years. Maybe they graduate or they finish language requirement. And especially 2 years of learning a language seemed to be very limited. And I thought, how do they use that language to create a better society without even being able to understand what's going on in the news? Then I found out about SNA. And once again, I felt hopeful because SNA helped me to think about a way to provide a space where, in language education, where students can think about the society they live in and think about the way to make it better with others, even with limited language knowledge. I hope today you will find this workshop useful and find a way to apply to your own teaching in a way it helped me. And today I'm very honored to introduce our keynote speaker, Professor Tosaku, who is one of the professors who has connected and worked together with other language teachers and came up with this approach. He's also the director of the Japanese language program and is professor of Pacific International Affairs for the School of Global Policy and Strategy at UC San Diego. As director of the school's language program, Professor Tosaku supervises Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Portuguese, Spanish, and Vietnamese lecturers. He also coordinates the undergraduate Japanese language program at UC San Diego and chairs the California Japanese Framework Project, which is currently developing curriculum guidelines for K-16 Japanese language instruction in California. Let us welcome Professor Tosaku.